Oreo, the world's most iconic cookie. What if I told you that somewhere in the world right now, a factory is pumping out over 40 billion of these little black and white discs every single year? That is enough to circle the earth 5 times over. And here is the craziest part. People are not just eating them, they are twisting them, dunking them, debating whether the cream or the cookie is better. And some are even using them as the ultimate test of self-control. We are talking about one of the most legendary snacks ever created, a cookie so iconic, so universally loved that it has sparked debates, inspired desserts, and become an absolute cultural phenomenon. But have you ever stopped mid-bite and wondered what exactly goes into making an Oreo? What secrets are hiding behind that perfectly stamped design? And how does a simple combination of chocolate cookies and vanilla cream become something so utterly irresistible? Today we are going deep behind the factory doors. We are uncovering the precise science, the carefully guarded recipes, and the mind-blowing machinery that transforms raw ingredients into the world's most beloved cookie. Trust me, by the end of this video, you will never look at an Oreo the same way again. Let us rewind the clock to 1912. The world was a very different place. The Titanic had just set sail, and in a small bakery in New York City, something truly special was about to be born. The National Biscuit Company, which we now know as Nabisco, part of the massive Mondelez International family, introduced a cookie that would change snacking history forever. The concept was deceptively simple. Two crispy dark chocolate cookies, sandwiching a rich, creamy vanilla filling. But that simplicity, that was pure genius. The very first Oreo design featured an elegant wreath of flowers around the edge, with the word Oreo proudly stamped right in the center. It was classy, it was distinctive, and it was an instant hit. Now, here's the thing. Over a century later, the world still cannot get enough. From the classic original to wild flavors like birthday cake, peanut butter, and even wasabi, in some countries, Oreo has evolved into a global obsession. But no matter how many variations exist, that original magic, that perfect combo of crunchy cookies and smooth, dreamy cream remains absolutely untouchable. So how exactly do they create this legendary cookie? Let us dive into the ingredients. Before a single Oreo can roll off the production line, every ingredient must be prepared with serious care and precision. This is not just baking. This is science meets art. It all starts with all-purpose flour, sourced from local wheat farms, right here in the United States. But here is the first secret. The flour is meticulously sifted to remove any lumps, ensuring that silky smooth texture we all crave. And here is a pro tip that even professional bakers swear by. You want to mix the dough just enough, never too much. Overmixing activates too much gluten, and instead of that perfect light crunch, you end up with a cookie that is tough and chewy. Definitely not the Oreo vibe. Oh, and using high-protein flour. Big no-no, it completely messes with the cookie's signature soft bite. Next up, fine white granulated sugar, also harvested from local farms across the United States. But not just any sugar. Oreo specifically uses finely ground sugar because larger crystals do not dissolve properly. The result, cracks on the cookie surface and a rough, uneven finish. Nobody wants that. Here is a fun fact that might surprise you. The Oreo cookie itself is not actually super sweet. The sugar content is carefully balanced at only about 15% of the total dry ingredients. Why? Because that slightly less sweet cookie pairs beautifully with the rich sweet cream filling in the middle. It is all about harmony. Now let us talk about the true star of the show, cocoa powder. This is the magic behind Oreo's iconic chocolate flavor and that deep, almost mysterious dark color. The cocoa is made from carefully selected cacao beans, mainly grown in Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Indonesia. After harvesting, these beans are roasted to perfection, ground down, and processed into fine cocoa powder. But here is the secret that sets Oreo apart. They use alkalized cocoa powder, also known as Dutch processed cocoa. This means the cocoa has been treated with an alkalizing agent to neutralize its natural acidity. The result, That intense, almost black color and a smooth, mellow chocolate
As the
flavor that is
neutralization
never bitter
begins,
or
the
tangy.
acidic
If you
cocoa
used
reacts with the
natural cocoa instead, the cookies would turn out lighter brown with a slightly sour taste. Totally not the classic Oreo we all know and love. With all the ingredients ready, the real action begins. Massive bags of pure sugar get poured into giant industrial mixers, kicking off the dough-making process. Once the sugar is in, cocoa powder joins the party along with a precise mix of salt and a few other secret supporting ingredients. Next, a steady stream of canola oil is added, binding all those dry ingredients into a smooth, sticky dough. Every single ratio here is perfectly calculated. We are talking 40% flour, 25% dark cocoa powder, 15% sugar, 15% fat, and the rest. Those are the magic extras that Oreo keeps close to the chest. But here is where it gets really interesting. Workers add water, and suddenly the dough transforms into something that looks like thick, chocolatey soup. Sounds weird, right? But wait. To control the temperature, they toss in dry ice. Yes, you heard that right. Dry ice. As the dry ice evaporates, it rapidly cools the dough, keeping everything nice and chill for about 30 minutes. This
As the
step
dry
is
ice
absolutely
sublimates, the
crucial.
temperature
Cold
rapidly
dough
drops.
is much easier to
This
handle,
crucial
way
30-minute
less likely to
cooling step
crack when
ensures
rolled
the
out, and bakes up
The cold dough
perfectly
on the
crisp and
left
even.
provides a smooth,
Finally, a
pliable
leavening
texture
agent
ideal
is
for
added
cutting.
to complete
In
the rich
contrast, the
chocolatey
warm
dough.
dough
And
cracks.
just like that, it is ready for the next stage. Once the dough is chilled and ready, it heads over to what might be the most satisfying part of the entire process, the shaping and stamping station. Workers carefully scoop the dough onto a massive conveyor belt that feeds it into
We need
giant
another slab over
industrial
here.
rollers. These powerful
Coming right up.
machines press the
Keep it
dough
moving.
into those familiar little circles we all recognize instantly. But that is not all. At the exact same moment, something magical happens. The stamping machine presses down, imprinting the iconic Oreo logo and that beautiful wreath pattern onto every single cookie. It happens in a flash. Blink and you will miss it. But that tiny detail, it is an absolute game changer. Here is a fascinating fact. Studies show that branding like this can boost a cookie's appeal by almost 90%. Let us be real. Slap a cool logo on anything
detailed
and it
embossing
automatically
process
looks
ensures
way more
every
delicious.
Oreo features the
Oreo
iconic
understood
flower
this
design
over a
and
century
brand name
ago, and
as
they
it
have been
moves
perfecting
swiftly
it
through
ever
the factory.
since. And the speed, absolutely mind-blowing. This shaping machine cranks out up to 6,000 Oreos every single hour, keeping the production line moving at an insane pace. After getting perfectly shaped and stamped, the raw Oreo cookies continue their journey down a long steel conveyor belt, heading straight into something truly spectacular. Massive industrial ovens that stretch an almost unbelievable 400 feet long. That is longer than a football field. Inside these ovens, the temperature is cranked way up and kept steady between 350 and 360 degrees Fahrenheit. The cookies take a slow, even ride through the heat, spending about 10 to 12 minutes inside. That is just enough time to develop that perfect crispy shell without drying out or turning rock hard. The result: a light, crunchy cookie with the ideal texture. Crisp on the outside, slightly tender on the inside. That satisfying snap when you bite into it. That is no accident. It is the product of precise temperature control and perfect timing. As soon as the cookies emerge from the oven, they are blasted with cool air from giant industrial fans. This rapid cooling locks in that perfect crunch and keeps the cookie structure nice and stable. Then comes one of the most critical steps in the entire process. The cookies roll onto another conveyor belt where a team of sharp-eyed workers is already waiting, eyes locked onto the endless stream of cookies flowing past them. Any cookies that are cracked, misshapen, or a little too toasty get snatched off the line in a flash. There is no room for imperfection here. Only the absolute best of the best move forward. And let me tell you, watching this part is absolutely mesmerizing. Rows and rows of Oreo cookies flow down the belts, twisting and turning through the factory like a living, swirling river of chocolate. It is crazy busy, incredibly precise, and honestly, one of the most satisfying things you will ever see. While the cookies are being baked and prepped, something equally important is happening in another part of the factory. The creamy vanilla, filling the soul of every Oreo, is being crafted with serious precision and quality control. It all starts with the key ingredients: powdered sugar vegetable fat, corn syrup, natural or artificial vanilla flavoring, and a small amount of emulsifier. Every single ingredient is measured out automatically according to a super specific formula. There is zero room for guesswork. The powdered sugar and fat go straight into giant mixing tanks, where high-speed mixers whip everything together. But here is the crucial part. The entire process happens in a carefully temperature-controlled environment, kept between 68 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This prevents any oil from separating and ensures that silky, smooth consistency. Once the sugar and fat are whipped into a smooth, fluffy mixture, corn syrup is slowly added. This gives the cream its signature stretchiness and helps it stay moist. At the same time, vanilla flavoring is blended in, creating that sweet, irresistible aroma we all know and love. The final product, a cream that is soft and silky, yet thick enough to hold its perfect shape when piped onto the cookies. It is a delicate balance, and Oreo has absolutely mastered it. Now comes the moment of truth, the assembly line where cookies and cream finally unite. Half of the Oreo cookies are neatly lined up on the conveyor belt. Then, with incredible precision, an automated pumping system kicks into action. Tiny nozzles squeeze out the perfect amount of vanilla cream right onto the center of each cookie at exactly the right height and size to create that classic Oreo look. The pumping speed and cream output are fully synced with the cookie assembly line, keeping everything running like clockwork. Then the other half of the cookies gently drop on top, pressing down just enough to spread the cream evenly without messing up those clean edges we all recognize. The pressure has to be perfect. Too much and the cream squishes out. Too little and the sandwich falls apart. And get this, each production line can crank out an insane 3,000 finished Oreos every single minute. Let that sink in. That is 50 perfect Oreos every second. Once sandwiched together, the cookies head straight into a rapid cooling tunnel where the cream firms, uplocking everything into place. Throughout this entire assembly process, strict quality control checks are constantly in place. Any batch of cream that does not meet Oreo's incredibly high standards gets pulled off the line immediately. Only the best make it through. Finally, the fully assembled Oreos make their way into the automated packing station. Here, super skilled robotic fingers neatly group the cookies into sets of 11. Mechanical clamps gently grab each bundle and place them carefully into waiting plastic trays. Once the trays are full, they are sent over to the sealing station where the cookies are wrapped up nice and tight, preserving that freshness we all expect. Then they are packed into boxes ready for shipping. From there, those boxes of Oreos are sent all over the world. To distributors, supermarkets, convenience stores, and yep, probably right onto your kitchen shelf too. But let us be honest, keeping these cookies sealed up for more than a few minutes once they are home, pretty much impossible. And there you have it. The incredible journey of an Oreo from raw ingredients to the iconic cookie we all know and love. Every step, every detail, every secret ingredient working together to create something truly special. So next time you twist open an Oreo Dunket in a cold glass of milk, or debate whether to eat the cream first or save it for last, remember, you are holding over a century of perfection in your hands. Now here is a question for you. What is your all-time favorite Oreo flavor?
Cookie.
Drop a
Dip
comment
into
down
the
below.
sweet life.
We would love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to smash that like button, share it with your fellow Oreo lovers, and hit subscribe with the notification bell on so you never miss out on more awesome behind-the-scenes content. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.